Hey guys, Joe here with Local Pro Helper, and in this video I'm going over the reports within JobNimbus. So this is one of the main reasons, well, one of two reasons that I end up switching from Jobber to JobNimbus. It's also the reason why I'm switching from JobNimbus to a custom solution, because it gets you most of the way there, but for me it's not good enough. But here's what we have. So we have several reports that we look at. Basically the on-site that we booked for the week, last week, and for this month as well. Okay. Now the on-site's the $75 on-site. The way we work everything is, we give pricing over the phone. If they want us to come out, we charge $75 to come out to just basically verify everything, send them their final quote, and then we book the job that way. The reason why we do it is because we used to go out to like 60 quotes a week, and now we only go out to like 8 and book the same amount of jobs. So you save about 70 hours a week, for us, and we're booking the same amount of jobs. And plus, even if they don't go forward with it, well, they're still paying for your time or paying for your employees' time to go out there. So if you're interested in something like that, I picked it up through the Contractor Sales Academy, and just to let them know you heard about them from here. But yeah, it's been a great help for us. So the way we look at the reports, and like I said, we have it set up a few different ways. And the reason why we look at the on-sites is, and typically what you want to do with these reports is you want to be tracking KPIs, which is key performance indicators. And for us, one of the main ones is, the $75 consultations, because we know if we book 10 consultations, we're going to book at least 8 of them into a job. Okay, so it's a good, basically a leading indicator of, how our business is going. Okay, the other thing that we do is jobs booked for the week. Same thing this week, last week, and then we do for this month, and I do for last month as well. Okay, so the way we do all these types of things, and you want to look at a few different things. So this is what I typically do. When it comes to jobs booked this week, I don't really care about the sales number. Like, obviously, it's always nice. Last year we hit almost 2 million in sales. This year, the goal was 3 million, which sounds great, but sales are more of like a vanity metric, because it doesn't matter how much you sell. It matters how much you put in your pocket, right? So that's what we need to look at. That's why we have one for revenue, and then we have one for net profit. And we also look at net margin as well. Now, our net margin is typically closer to 40%, but what you will see lately is it's actually going to be a little bit lower. Let's see here, 30, and it's hovering around 36 still. The reason why it's a little bit lower is because these constant price increases. So by the time we actually, book their job, we've dealt with price increases. We kind of absorbed as much as we can, but, we can't do everything. So this is what we typically look at. The one downside that I really do not like about this thing is, in order, like, this is for this week, obviously last week, this month. If I wanted to change this, well, I have to go into the report itself. You go into here, here's all the ones, and you can click on it to see it, right? But the problem is, if you want to do anything, you have to go in edit, and then change it here, but then you have to remember to change it back again. Right, which makes no sense. Like, it should have something where, let me go back in the reports. If I click on this, well, if it should be just 75, on-site booked, well, then it should have a drop down that's, this week, last week, and all that kind of stuff. So you're not constantly editing reports and everything else. So luckily we don't change it all that often, but if I want to see some specific information, then I have to, like I said, go in, either create a duplicate report or edit this report and make sure I have to change it back. And it's just annoying. And that's another reason why I'm moving into a custom solution. But again, if you're using nothing else, this program's great. It got us closer to where we want it to be, but I'm very demanding. So I want what I want, and I won't take anything less. So this is what you have. Reports are pretty easy to do. So they have the built-in reports here. I don't really use these all that much. So what you will do, you can do a few different types of reports, which is nice. So task report, if you want to pull up all the tasks that are open, contact reports for whatever reason, activity. I don't really look at these. estimates you can do. But again, we don't even really use this system to its full capability at this point because we still are on Jobber as far as for the scheduling and for the invoicing. Originally, we were looking to pull it all over into this program, but then I realized this isn't the final solution we're going to. So it was just easier to train the salespeople on how to use this and then use the person that actually does the scheduling, invoices, and stuff like that. Just leave them on Jobber because I have everything connected together anyway through Zapier. If you don't know what Zapier is, it's a third-party program that basically connects all kinds of programs with each other, which is pretty nice. The only problem is, like, sometimes, most of the time it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then you can get errors, and then you got to figure out the errors. It's another reason why we're getting away from this and going into more of a custom solution. Anyway, so if you wanted to create a report, you figure out which one you want. So if you have payments or work orders or whatever it may be. So typically for most of my stuff, I'm using a invoice report, okay? And then from here, you're gonna figure out exactly what you want to track, okay? And there's all kinds of stuff. So it puts everything in here. So what you typically have to do is go into your add and remove columns. So if you don't wanna see the status, or if you wanna see all open invoices, you can do something like that as well. If you go to the filter, okay, and you go to where is status, okay, and then you would have here, and then if you would click this if you want to exclude it. So if you put, draft and you hit exclude, well, once you do that, it's going to exclude all the draft ones, so you don't have to look at that stuff, right? And you can do the same thing if you want to do closed and you just want to see open. Well, then you would we could edit this, change this, go to open, unselect that, and apply that. So again, we don't really use this the way it's intended, so that's why it doesn't show open. But for you, it would end up working, right? So, and then you can do different types of calculations and everything else. These calculations, these would be at the bottom. So let me remove this so it shows everything. So like the calculation, if you wanted to do the, total, and you want to do the sum, well, once you look down here, it would show you the total sum of all of them. Or if you wanted to do add a calculation total and you want to do average, well, we'll do the same thing with the average. Here's the total sum, and then here's the average as well. And then if you don't want to see one of them, you just remove it, and then you go down here, and it looks pretty good, right? So that's pretty nice. You can also break it down by who your salesperson is, that kind of thing. And again, if you want to remove something, so if you don't want to see the date updated, right? So you would just go to remove column, date updated, and then it deletes it there, okay? And then the one thing you do want to make sure is just that you change whatever this is going to be. And then that way, once you have the report, then you can actually know what the hell it's about. So anyway, that's about all I got for the reports. If there's something specific you would like to see within this program, let me know. I'll probably do one that's more in depth as far as why I'm switching to another program. But all in all, like I said, this is a very good program to have if you have nothing else. If I were to do it all over again and I wasn't such a crazy person when it came to everything I want, well, I would have started with this program right away. Again, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but Jobber's 10 times nicer looking, but this thing gets the job done as well. The other thing, going back to the dashboard. So the one thing that's driving me insane is the way all this looks. Like, I have to look for all this information, and like, it looks like a lot of stuff here, but at the end of the day, it's really not. So what I'm working on, so these are what the reports are going to end up looking like in my customer program, if you care at all. Actually, oops, I don't want to do that. Oh, that's why 50%. That's good. So like, I want to see, there's different reports that we're going to end up seeing. This is what I imagine it's going to end up looking like. So, this is where you would have, this is going to be the main dashboard. So it tells me like the number of leads, number of on-site consultation booked, number of jobs won, total sales, and then the total profit. And then that's basically for the current week, the previous week, and then we can do it for current month, previous month, current quarter, and year to date, like all that kind of good stuff. Then we'll have another report where it's basically, the goal is just to click on whatever report you want and see everything that you want, right? So it's going to be the same thing. This will be for the current week, previous week, all that kind of good stuff. But then this will track, okay, your goal is, 65 leads. You actually had 65, so your plus or minus is 0 because you're even. And then it'll show you, okay, here's all your lead sources: Google Organic, paid, Google My Business, Facebook page, Facebook ads, call extension, drop-off emails. These are automatic emails. I'll get into that stuff. Online price tool. It'll tell you the number of leads that are coming through. We actually do something where we actually grade our customer the first time they call. So we give them a grade between 1 and 5, depending on, 1 is basically a complete waste of time. 5 is they went ahead and booked a consultation. The reason for this is, I spend a decent amount of money on Google. So, with Google ads and Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. So I want to see where my money's actually going to, right? It'll tell you the number of jobs you won, the closing percent, because that's another important thing. The more, I always focused on Google ads, but if I can get the Facebook ads to work correctly, well, it's going to be more of a branding and having them see more within the business. And then from there, we'll probably build more of a connection. So our closing percent will probably go higher. Total profit, the average job profit, and then the value per lead, which is pretty important because at this point I don't do any of the installation, the sales, nothing. So I'm pretty hands off on the business, or mostly hands off. And so for me, I can go on my Google ads and I'll probably be able to tie this in as well, but I'll see that I'm paying $10 per lead for Google My Business, but it's worth to me $50 per lead. Okay. Which is super important. So then I know where my advertising money is going. And if I see, okay, I'm getting $50 per lead here, but this one's only, $10. Well, then I know this, I have to fix the Facebook ads, or I have to, shut them off and just focus on something else. So anyway, hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, if you have any questions regarding JobNimbus or Jobber, please let me know and I will be glad to make a video to help you out.